Hassan, I'm literally sending you that file. That's a song called Paper Cloud. I'm going to literally send it to you while we're doing a podcast. That's the beauty of podcasting, right? You can just
Yeah.
you just do whatever you want here. All right. This segment,
Not a bad song. I have a very raw version of it
I got the
on my
finished file, not
ancient
mastered, but the finished file.
on my
Yes.
ancient device called iPod. I don't know if the
Look at
kids
your
don't know
iPod.
what I'm
All
talking
right.
about. Yeah.
I like that.
Hey, not bad. Hey, you had a decent bass player in that band.
Well, the
That
singer
guy was
wasn't
all
bad either.
right. Huh?
Singer wasn't bad. Singer wasn't bad
Nah,
either. I got the finished.
he
Got
wasn't as good
everything
as
on
your
it.
bass player though.
It's very true. Very true. All right. This segment is called Trailer Truth or Trash, and we are truthing or trashing Doctor Strange. Here's how it works.
I gotta confess before you go into the rules of it.
Yeah.
This particular trailer that we're gonna truth or trash.
Yeah.
I had never seen the trailer before I saw the movie.
That's okay.
I am just saying. I'm like, where'd you get this trailer from? This is like a half hour. It was a long trailer.
Well, I don't know. It's the official
Like
trailer.
45-minute trailer.
No,
Like a
it's
chunk of the film.
like 2 minutes.
That's a long time. There's a lot of stuff in that trailer.
Yes. Yes. So we're gonna be able to dive in. So here's the rules. You're gonna still see us talking. We're gonna be little boxes of talking heads, and we're gonna do a little mystery science theater blah blah blah, mystery science theater 3000 style commentary over the trailer, and then we're gonna ask some important questions. We're gonna go name that genre. Did the film set up the world that? Did the trailer set up the world that the film ultimately delivers on? Then we're gonna see who's the big bad. Because there's a lot of trailers out there that steer you in one direction, and they kind of bait and switch and give you something else. And then finally, it's bait and switch. It's a spoiler alert. Did the trailer actually give away the ending? Because I'm thinking back to that. You remember that that Harrison Ford movie? It was in 2000. It was with Michelle Pfeiffer. What's that one I'm thinking of? Come on.
Presumed Innocent.
No. Here we go. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's What Lies Beneath. Do you remember that?
Oh man, that was a completely different.
That was one of
Harrison
the
Ford movie.
Yeah. That was a movie though that I basically was the first time I'd ever seen this, where they basically just gave away the entire end. Like you see in the trailer that it's him, that he was the killer. Like, and you're like, well, isn't that kind of giving everything away? And there's like a study that found that people found that those kind of trailers are actually very, very successful in still getting people to go to the theater, which I don't know how. Like, I basically watched it. I'm like, well, I just saw the movie. Like, I just watched 2 minutes of exactly what the movie is.
I remember like Presumed Innocent or whatever the name of that Harrison Ford movie was, where he, whether or not his wife had died, someone had died and he was accused. Harrison Ford was
The Fugitive?
No, Harrison Ford was accused. Not his wife. Someone had died.
Okay.
And Harrison Ford was accused of killing. And on an episode of The Kids in the Hall, they gave it away. Hecubus gave it away because they were supposed to be in hell. I was like, Hecubus, have you seen Presumed Innocent? He goes, I have, master. And his wife killed her. He was like, hey, I haven't seen that. And he was like, oh, I guess I'm evil then. That was
now I have no reason to go watch Presumed Innocent.
Yeah, well, that's the kind of what happened to us, because we were like, hey, that was pretty funny, but God damn it.
All right, here we go. Doctor Strange. Here's the official trailer. Let's behold. For our audio audiences, we are still here. We're gonna give you the play-by-play. All right, Doctor Strange. He's there's a door that opened up and there's some stairways. Boom! Explosions. Crazy.
There's a lot of energy in spinning cameras. Did Sam Raimi direct this? Because it's very Sam Raimi-esque.
Yeah. Yeah. They basically just showed the opening scene, though. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
In that sense.
Well, in a way.
To protect our world.
Oh yeah. Good old Wong. He was a star in this movie, right? Like he is
the Sorcerer Supreme in this film. It kind of is keeping, because he's kind of giving him, he's telling Strange what the deal is, so that means that their dynamic has shifted slightly, that he seems to be subordinate to Wong now.
Yeah.
Funny thing, both
Wong
actors'
is,
name is Benedict, but you know that's not their
isn't that
fault.
funny, right? His name is
Yeah.
Benedict Wong,
Yeah,
and he plays Wong.
with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh man, you
You
just
didn't
blew
even
my
notice
mind.
that, right?
You just blew my mind. I never made that connection. Wow.
Will not go unpunished.
I
All right.
literally just said they're both named Benedict, but okay.
So here he is.
We should
Yes.
tell him the truth.
Little promise of
Little
Cameo there
presenting in
from
front
another-
of the
from a-
Illuminati.
from another film series.
There's some crazy stuff happening. Oh my goodness, he just split his whole face open.
Things just got out of
That must be a pivotal scene, right? That had to have been like a critical
Where
scene in the movie.
yeah, it seems like it's the that's probably the biggest action piece of the movie.
Yeah, it seems right. Like that's like the money shot of the
Yeah,
whole
that was the biggest scene. Oh, hey, there's two of them.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh,
gotta be strange.
that reminds me of like a little Superman Returns right there. When again, not Superman Returns, Superman 3. Real freaky
Oh,
stuff.
He's
When
fighting.
he's fighting himself.
He's fighting drunk Superman.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, drunk
So it
Superman.
looks like whatever spell Doctor Strange is gonna do is gonna pull Wanda into two people.
Is that what that told you?
That's what that told me.
That's the
Yeah.
impression you got from that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what's
All right.
funny? I don't ever actually listen back to our podcasts. I always end up watching them. I just can only imagine what that was like for our listening audience, because it really wasn't as compelling, I don't think. Actually, I think it was very compelling in terms of the performance we did. But I can't imagine they have any idea what the trailer looks like. Like, period.
Well, you could always, you could provide a URL link so they can
That's
watch
true.
that as
Look at
they
that.
as they listen to the show.
What were your general impressions of the trailer versus what ended up happening in the movie?
I think it's pretty much a comprehensive trailer. Just lets you know. But I mean, look, it just lets you know a whole bunch of wacky things are going to go on, where they're going to be going from place to place, and no reality is going to be real, or they're either going to be lost in time or lost in the multiverse somewhere, because it is called Multiverse of Madness.
Mm-hmm.
It does look pretty mad.
Yeah.
So I mean, that seems like it was in keeping with seems like an honest aspect of the film. And that trailer doesn't really give me much of an impression of anything.
Right.
However, I mean, other than Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange, he's the one who's got to sort this whole crazy mess out, and that's about all I get. And he's protecting a girl, it seems like.
Yeah, I agree with you. I remember watching that and just thinking, this trailer tells me nothing. It's just basically showcasing a lot of
action set pieces, and
yeah.
And I think he saws a bus in half, which is
Again, I think
that's a visual that's hard to forget. Like, yeah,
the most striking visual to me though is also like that scene where his face is like literally coming apart, right? Like and so it feels as if that might have been like during the pivotal third act when
I'm going to sidebar this and stick with the bus thing. How do superheroes know there's never passengers on the vehicles they destroy?
That's a good point.
Just remember the Dark Knight when Batman's riding around in the Batpod and those cars are in his way. He's like, I'm not going to ride around these, man. I got cannons.
That's
blow
true.
these cars up. How does he know some bum is not sleeping in one of those cars? Like, I never understand how. I mean, it always works out for the hero, but how did Doctor Strange not know he was going to saw several dozen people in half when he saw that bus in half?
I think they do the statistics in their head and the law of probability, and they're like, the
That's
law of
what makes them
probability
heroes.
suggests
Idiots like you and I with superpowers would kill hundreds of people. But
massive.
You gotta be Doctor Strange or one of the Avengers, and to be able to do drastic things like sawing a bus in half and not kill anyone.
Yeah,
no one even got hurt.
It's gonna be I agree with you. Well, that's the thing I also find kind of, and again, this goes back to the original, and we're totally tangenting, but that's okay. Argument we had it wasn't an argument, but it was a case that I made a couple of weeks ago when I think I even discussed Doctor Strange, that things in comics because it's art, you could just kind of let it slide. But if you actually saw any of this stuff in real life, you'd be like, that just doesn't make sense. Like the fact that these people just confidently go out and fight these like crazy creatures. You know what I mean? Like, there would just, I don't know, like I find it insane that they're just like, oh yeah, looks like you
Well,
missed your stop.
this is this
Like,
is
you know,
this
like,
is a New York that survived the attack, the Thanos attack in 2011 or whatever year that was, right? So I mean that New York is kind of they're loosey goosey at this point, you know.
yeah,
They survived the two Thanos attacks, the one Loki led in the beginning of in Avengers 1,
yeah.
and then the one in Endgame where half the people on Earth disappeared, and then
Mhm.
they all came back 5 years later. So, like I said, they're a limber. You know, they're like,
Well,
yeah, it's a
that's why
big
my
tentacle
favorite,
creature in the middle of Midtown. Damn, I got to get across town. I don't have time for this tentacle. Where are the Avengers? Where are the Avengers?
my favorite movie, not one of my favorite movies. One of my favorite scenes in a movie though was The Other Guys with Will
Yeah.
Ferrell and
Yes.
what's his name? Oh, it's totally
Um,
the
uh,
Wahlberg, Mark Wahlberg,
Yeah.
where Samuel L. Jackson and The Rock are just like, I mean, they are prototypical like action heroes, and
superstars.
they're just like, aim for the bushes, and then they both just because I
It
feel
made
like
no
that's gotta
sense. I
happen.
remember watching that movie like that was the funniest thing I've ever seen, but that made no sense.
Yeah.
They played There Goes My Hero from Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
They jumped off that's fantastic.
I remember being on a date for that movie, and I don't know how I got a second date out of it because I laughed.
It's not your fault.
No,
Or
no,
there
no, no,
was
no, no, no,
that movie
no.
was your fault.
I
You chose that
laughed
film. Oh.
so
Ah.
I was guffawing. I mean, my laughter during that scene was so appalling
Yeah.
and obnoxious, but somehow I got a second
I
date.
saw that movie with a friend and we laughed like it wasn't a laugh, it was a shout. We were shouting.
I know.
That's how pretty. And that kind of stuff usually doesn't get me like that. But that visual was so absurd
So
that it was
perfect.
like it just broke my brain.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I
back
can't.
to
I'm
the
laughing.
trailer.
Right. I see it so clear in my
So
head.
do I. You know, the problem with that scene is that it'll never be as good as the first time you saw it.
No, but still pretty amazing. There's another scene. You know, there's a scene in there's a South Park. We're so far past Truth or Trash at this point. We don't have to edit this out at some point. There was a South Park episode where, and this is, so South Park's been around for God knows how long, but there was a time when it first burst onto the scene where it was laugh out loud funny, and then I think the two seasons after the first season or the second or the third and fourth season, they just weren't as good. Like they just weren't what the initial ones were. And then right around the time of like George Bush and the Iraq War, South Park started getting really super political and just hilarious with a lot of their stuff. And they had this like creative revitalization. And there's an episode where I don't remember why, but they were trying to save the whales. And the only way they could save the whale was to like shoot it into space, where they would be like the whale would be safe or whatever. And there's this final scene where the boys succeed and they're all like, cheer, we did it, we saved it. And the last scene is just the whale dead on the moon. And it's just there for a good 30 seconds. No music,
Words,
no
music.
nothing. Just
Yeah, the consequences of your actions. There's a dead whale on the moon. Sometimes things just end with a dead whale on the moon.
It's not good, right?
That's the way life is sometimes. Sometimes there's a dead whale on the moon.
I gotta watch that one again too. I have that on. I mean, no, South Park is still on. They're on HBO Max. I gotta watch that one. I mean, just
probably it's probably there.
It's one of those like 80s movies, 80 movie parodies that they would do so well, and the ultimate consequence was they succeeded. But by succeeding, they
have a dead whale on the moon.
Yeah. All right. Did the film live up to the trailer, Doctor Strange? We took the long way here. Name that genre. Okay? Name that genre. Did the world of the story in the trailer equal the world that we got in the film? Essentially, what did it set up for you in the trailer versus what did it end up being? A good example, again, would be the Batman, right? Looked like a standard superhero movie in the trailer. Turned out to be the movie Seven. That was my take on it. So in this particular case,
with an awesome car chase.
What did the Doctor Strange trailer set up for you? Did you go into it looking like this is a typical superhero movie, or a
It looked
typical?
like it was filmed in Absurdovision, and the
Yeah,
movie was kind of absurd. So it did live up to that. Actually, the movie was a little tamer than the trailer
yeah,
made it out to be, but it
yeah,
wasn't so tame that it was disappointing to me. I know there's a lot of controversy about the movie,
yeah.
you know,
Well,
but it's doing really well. But people are it's one of those doing well that people are claiming is not doing well.
it
So
did have
I
a
don't know.
big drop off in the second week, but
Yeah,
still
it's
doing great.
68%. But I mean,
Yeah,
it made 200 million its first weekend.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. And they're still saying it may hit 1 billion. It's already past the Batman, and everyone considered that a success.
Yeah.
So it's weird, like people's gauge on these things are just, it's an unfair system of calculation, basically,
Yeah.
because
So
they
I'm gonna
base your
trash.
movie off the last successful movie in your line as opposed to the last successful movie that came out, and that's not really fair because the market's always going to be very different, every season. But
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah. No,
I'm done.
I
I'm
agree
done
with you on that.
soapbox. I'm off the soapbox.
That's okay.
I'm off my soapbox.
You know, it's funny.
Very comfortable soapbox. So.
I like the name that genre, and I forgot to supply that to our producer Aaron to put in there because I like the idea of, did the film, you know, set up a world that we didn't end up getting? So that's gonna be the first question, and I'm gonna trash that. I'm gonna say it did not live up to the trailer. The trailer to me looked like a sequel to Doctor Strange, and the first Doctor Strange was a very fantastical kind of, roller coaster filmed kind of magic movie, for lack of a better term. And
Roller
this one
coaster
looked like it
magic
was
movie.
setting up. What's that?
A roller coaster magic movie. That sounds
Well,
that sounds
it
like
was
an
like it
acid
would
trip.
like an acid trip, right? Exactly, right. Like you're on a loop-to-loop roller coaster, watching Doctor Strange, the original one, right? And I would sit there and say that this trailer looked like it was primed to just be more of the same. And what it ended up being to me was anything but that. It ended up being more of, it had horror elements. I don't call it a horror movie, but it definitely had a little more grim, a little more gritty, a little more horror related. So I'm going to trash the genre setup of the trailer and say that they, and that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying they did not live up to what I was expecting based off of the trailer in terms of, the type of film we were going to get.
All right.
Are you going to truth it or trash it?
I said it. I said it was the truth. I said it was filmed in Absurdovision, and the movie has. I think the movie delivered the absurd.
Okay. All
I
right, so
didn't get
you're
a
gonna
horror
truth it.
vibe from it, really. You get more of a horror vibe from the film in the film.
Yes, no, that's my
But
point.
but the trailer doesn't. The trailer, but I mean, it wasn't a horror film. There are horror elements in it. There are things that are played from a horror angle, but it's not a
Right.
horror film. And so the trailer doesn't suggest a horror film. And I think if you're going to watch a Doctor Strange film and suddenly you're in a zombie picture, and then suddenly you're in a Fantastic Beasts picture where you're fighting giants, and then suddenly Professor X is there, and then suddenly it's absurd. So
Yeah.
it fit the absurd aspect as far as I'm concerned.
All right, we're gonna go truth on that one. All right, truth or trash. Did the film deliver on the big moments from the trailer? And it's amazing because what they'd managed to do in the trailer, to me, was to give you a lot of enticing visuals, a lot of enticing action, and at the end of the day, those are not the pivotal moments of the trailer, of the film. Some of them are. You do have the Wanda versus Wanda. You do have, toward the end and things like that. But for the most part, all these pivotal moments that you see in the trailer, or at least the ones that stand out to me, are all set up for the rest of the film. So I think it's really impressive, how they ended up doing that. And so I will say that the film delivered on the big moments because it took, all the moments they showed in the trailer I thought were awesome, and then they ended up,
And then
piling that on
being
with
more.
even more awesome
I think
moments
it was the
later on.
most I think it was the most innovative MCU movie since maybe Ragnarok,
Mm,
which was a complete genre change for
yeah.
Thor, you know. And I think the lesson they learned from Ragnarok is that they can play with other genres. They can make an MCU movie, but they can play with,
Hmm.
fringe genres like like horror, like comedy, like
Yeah.
slapstick, like satire, that kind of thing. But um, they they realize they have to temper it with a lot of MCU isms and set pieces and visuals.
Hmm.
Um, it has to be full of some kind of pathos that the character is dealing with, and then they could pretty much, go free range. When you try to do just straight up fantasy and build this magnificent like huge world and just fill it with quirky characters, you'll get something maybe like the Eternals, which is
Right.
not a bad movie, but it's not really a standout movie. I enjoyed the Eternals, but it wasn't really like it's not a movie I run back to. But like
Yeah.
I would run back to Doctor Strange because I'm like, did I just see that correctly?
Yeah.
Do I understand what I just watched? Do I get it? So, and I mean also they did the same thing with No Way Home, where
Hmm.
it was another multiverse situation, but it was a very heartfelt nostalgia pull,
Hmm.
and then a tragedy in its own way.
Yeah.
And so they realized, okay, we have to fill these movies with like some tremendous left turns in order just to keep the audience on their toes.
Well, let me ask you a question though. 'Cause and I'll start by giving you my take. I actually enjoyed the actual crux of the movie more than the gimmicks. The gimmicks of Captain Carter, the gimmicks of, the Fantastic Four being there, the, Professor X being there, things like that. Like to me, that, those kind of moments are what fuel the fanfire. But to me, sometimes can take away from the film. And to me, I thought it didn't take away from the film, but it also to me wasn't the reason I walked out being like, wow, I went to that film and I can't believe I saw, you know, Captain Carter and, Fantastic Four and Professor X. Like, it was almost, I walked out of there, what impacted me more was the actual film itself, the rest of the film around that, not just that one kooky, gimmicky, cameo moment.
Yeah,
Did you
that's the way it should be, though, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely, and I'm glad it did. I'm just saying, did you feel the same way, or was that
I never, I'm never like, whoa, that was amazing. Like I got over that because that was ruining my ability to enjoy movies.
Mhm,
My need to do that for every film that I saw. Like, oh my God, there was no oh my God moment. So
mhm,
this movie sucked. That was killing my movie going experience. So
yeah,
I got out of that habit. So every
alright,
now and then when there's a movie like say Infinity War, where
mhm,
it's just like, wow, this is really a well put together, series of events,
mhm,
and there's some really great action in it, and there's flaws with those movies, of course, but
sure,
who cares? When the
right,
movie is good enough, you don't care. That's the trick, is to
right,
make you not give a damn about the flaws. So, but that's a rare experience. Like,
mhm,
whoa, But for the
yeah,
most part, I just want to see something and enjoy it,
yeah,
and know what and understand what I'm looking at, and not be like Rise of Skywalker. Like, what am I looking at, man? What is actually happening? Why are they
yeah.
in the desert again? So, you know, it is what
Cool. Alright, we're gonna so I think what we're saying is we're gonna truth the film
I
delivering
I
on the big
I say
moments.
I vote for truth.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna go
vote.
truth on that as well too. Alright. Question 3, who's afraid of the big bad? Did the villain match the trailer? Now, the thing about this trailer that I thought was very amazing is they don't actually tell you who the big bad is. And so but they always they do a lot of the shots of, like, the bird's eye view street level. So they're always, like, looking up and they're it's like, "Oh, so there's gonna be some sort of giant, it's gonna be Stay Puft Marshmallow Man walking down Fifth Avenue now." You know? They give you a lot of look out and run and look and this, but they don't actually spell it out. And then you do have the scene again, the very Superman 3-ish scene with the two Wandas, to where they are facing off, to where it's never, and this is spoiler alert, so we will flash our warning spoilers up on the screen again if you're watching us in the video and if you're listening to us. It very much, to me, from the trailer, felt as if Wanda was a good guy. And there was another Wanda that was a bad guy, which is what happened in the trailer, which is what happened in the film, but not in the way that I thought it was going to happen. I thought that the good Wanda was part of the group, the merry band of misfits that were lost in the multiverse, and maybe she stumbles across a bad version of her. But to me, I never, from the trailer, thought that she was the big bad at all. I mean, I was stunned when that actually happened in the film, that she was the central villain throughout it all. Did you agree with that? Was that your take as well too?
No, because I already knew that she was supposedly the bad guy because some idiot pundit like 2 years ago said, yeah, this is a WandaVision. It's going to lead right into Multiverse of Madness where she's the villain. And that was that. I did figure that it was going to take a while for her to reveal herself as the villain, or a while for. I thought the events of the film would slowly transform her into the Heavy, as opposed to her being the villain from the beginning.
Yes.
But I did all along figure that she was going to be the bad guy.
Now, our producer Aaron said, I knew it from the second image of her in the trailer. But again, I think to me, I thought that she was going to be battling an evil part of herself, but not in this. What's that?
And it could have been that, the way you're saying it, but
right.
And it technically was that.
It technically was that, but not the way it was presented in the trailer, right? To me, it felt like what you were saying, like a gradual descent into madness.
You figure it. Well, but that's not because of the trailer or because of that's just because of films. That's because of years and years of watching films. You're like, okay, what they're going to probably do is she's going to start off, baking cookies, and then by the end she's going to try to cut someone's head off. So it's and it's just kind of your understanding of film language,
right?
But the good films know that you already speak that language, so they start speaking a different language, while and continue to foster the falsehood of that they're speaking the original language.
Yep.
I mean, she pretty much almost immediately says, "Oh yeah, I'm the bad guy." I'm lying. Yeah, and I'm the bad guy. So
yeah. I'm gonna trash it. I'm gonna say did the villain match the trailer? I'm gonna actually say trash it because I don't. It completely. And this is a good thing. Again, when I trash it, doesn't mean I'm saying it's bad. I'm just saying that what was set up in the trailer.
I don't get the parameters of that, because is that trash though? If the trailer it makes you interested and fails to reveal to you the truth of the film, isn't that a successful trailer as opposed to? So
I'm not saying it's not.
But so trash is good and truth is bad? I don't understand. I don't get this. I don't get. All right. Okay.
We'll evolve this as it goes along.
Yes, apparently so. We'll revise. We'll do refinement.
All right. Final rating for this. Did it live up to the trailer? Spoiler alert: did the trailer give away the ending? And again, this goes back to What Lies Beneath, to where I literally watched What Lies Beneath trailer, and it's like I just watched the entire movie. And I will absolutely say it did not give away the ending at all.
Which is ironic, because it does show you the ending.
Yes. Yes.
But it didn't show it to you in a manner where you realize, hey, that's the ending. I don't have to go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay home.
Yeah. So I guess we'll truth that then, right? We'll truth.
No, you have to trash it because it didn't
trash it. You're right. See, yeah. Maybe you're right. Maybe I got this all backwards.
See what I mean? But it is the truth.
We'll work on the gimmick. We'll work on the gimmick somehow.
Yeah, just like everything else. Just work in progress. We'll get it right.
The good news is there are more movies coming out.
Yes, so this is an opportunity for us.
We can do this with TV shows too. I mean, we could do Moon Knight.
We can do it with anything that has a trailer, because everything's got a trailer these days.
I know.
Freaking comic books. Well, comic books always had trailers. If you used to read G.I. Joe, Hasbro used to have cartoon commercials for each issue of G.I. Joe that came out.
Wow.
when we were kids. Yeah, you could find them all on YouTube.
That's crazy.
And they were
I must
awesome.
go there right now.
They were awesome.
I must go there right now.
Imagine that. Imagine having a cartoon trailer for every comic that you did.
Wow.
That's insane.
Wow.
But that was because of Hasbro. That wasn't Marvel. Marvel didn't have that kind of money. Hasbro had the money. That's what they made that happen.
I want to thank our guest tonight, Mr. James Massia, along with our other guest, Mr. Hassan Godwin, who's always here. So he's not really a guest. He's
Lord of the Radio.
He's there, which is
Lord
good.
of the Radio.
But you're not Lord of the Radio when you draw stuff, though, right?
I'm always the Lord of the Radio.
Oh, okay.
I paid for the title. It's like that scam where you could buy land in Scotland and become a lord. I did that.
Should we have credited you as Lord of the Radio in the book instead of Hassan Godwin?
I wish you would have, but
Gotta let people know that.
Nobody does. Nobody does what I asked them to.
It's crazy. All right.
I said, can I be Lord of the Radio? And they were like, and they hung up on me. They were like, all right, we're done with you. Thanks for the image.
You were talking into a shoe, by the way. It wasn't an actual phone.
My shoe's my phone. I could show it to you.
Go check out Seal of Fire Emergence Chapter 1. You can check out Seal of Fire Exile, Hassan's covers, Lord of the Radio's covers. No, I got to go Hassan's. Hassan's covers grace both of them. There's more installments coming out every month. There's also the podcast, the Seal of Fire podcast. So James Massia goes into great detail with host Bevan, all about the book. So if you like that, that's what Rogue Matter does. It gives you a total worldview. It's not just comics. It's not just ebooks. It's not just podcasts. It's everything. Next week. All right. Now, this is going to be big. Now, about a month ago, we did Fan Expo Philly. I got a bunch of awesome interviews, and we're going to display the first two from Fan Expo Philly. It is a Clerks reunion. I got Brian O'Halloran and Jeff Anderson on camera talking two separate interviews. So we're going to check that out. Plus, we're going to get psyched for Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is debuting that week. We will see you guys next week. Hi guys, Mike Dolce here from the Rogue Wave podcast. If you like this video, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It really helps us out. Leave a comment, let us know what you'd like to see in future episodes, and tune in every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern for a brand new episode of the Rogue Wave podcast.